The Amazon, where life does not thrive through peace but through relentless battles. Beneath the towering canopy lies a three-dimensional labyrinth, where every breath could be the last. From flooded rivers to moss-covered trunks, from fiery skies to thick, sticky mud. The Amazon is not just a forest, but an ecological battlefield woven through millions of years of evolution. Here, silent warriors like jaguars, anacondas, and harpy eagles do not survive by sheer strength alone, but through strategy, ambush, camouflage, cooperation, migration. Even the smallest creatures, like army ant colonies, can shake the forest if they coordinate perfectly. The Amazon does not belong to the strongest, but to those who adapt best. Welcome to the animal documentary, Amazon Survival, inside the world's most dangerous jungle. Deep in the heart of South America, the Amazon operates as a sovereign realm. Spanning 5.5 million square miles, the undisputed monarch of Earth's tropical forests. Here, every creature is locked in a relentless struggle for survival. From the apex hunters stalking the understory to the predators lurking in the river depths. Each life form claims its place in the food chain, sustaining a delicate, dynamic balance honed over millions of years. The forest is far more than a mere collection of trees. It is the planet's lungs, sequestering 2.2 billion tons of carbon annually. Towering 200 feet above the forest floor, the canopy forms a living shield, casting the world below in a perpetual humid twilight. From the nutrient-rich depths of the soil rise giants like the kapok and the Brazil nut. Yet creating a complex web where primates carve out their domains. In the dark undergrowth, survival is a masterpiece of adaptation. From leafcutter ants engineering their own transit systems to frogs armed with lethal, vibrant warnings. All are bound by the brutal, ancient laws of a fiercely competitive world. The Amazon River serves as the forest's pulsing lifeblood, surging with 55 million gallons of water every second. This vast hydrological system shelters over 2,500 species of fish, from river dolphins navigating with nature's own sophisticated sonar to giants of the deep that thrive in the crushing pressures of the abyss. Their survival depends entirely on their mastery of these waters, a place where life is in constant motion and every creature fights to defend its place in the current. Yet, the Amazon's influence extends far beyond the Earth. High above the dense canopy, the forest operates a marvel of nature, a global climate control system that remains largely invisible. Every day, the forest performs a sacred ritual. It breathes. Through evapotranspiration, billions of trees act as solar-powered hydraulic pumps, drawing moisture from the deep earth and releasing it into the atmosphere. It is a monumental exchange. The forest exhales over 20 billion tons of vapor daily, coalescing into massive swirling currents, the flying rivers of the Amazon. These are no mere clouds. They are aerial waterways carrying more water than the Amazon River itself. These invisible currents drift westward, driven by the winds until they collide with the towering wall of the Andes. Forced upward, the moisture cools, condenses, and falls as life-giving rain, nourishing an entire continent. These flying rivers provide the essential rainfall that sustains South America's breadbaskets by keeping the heart of the continent fertile. When you look at the Amazon, you are witnessing the climatic engine of the region. But this engine is alarmingly fragile. Every tree lost is a broken pump. Every acre cleared is a fracture in the sky. If the forest reaches its tipping point, these flying rivers will vanish and the continent's green heart will wither. To understand this is to realize that the Amazon is not merely a place on a map. It is the very pulse of our planetary climate system. With 400 billion trees representing 16,000 distinct species, the Amazon stands as the planet's ultimate treasury of life. It nourishes hundreds of mammal species, thousands of birds, and millions of insects. From the jaguar to the tiniest tree frog, each individual is a vital link in an ever-moving chain. The gaps in the forest are perpetually filled by new life, maintaining equilibrium in a relentless laboratory of evolution. Existence here rests upon an intricate interplay between species, where every individual plays a role in sustaining the heartbeat of the world. Before the sun breaks through, the jungle is cloaked in a spectral mist, a vaporous shroud that clings to the ancient trunks. As the first light hits, this mist doesn't just vanish, it exhales, releasing the humid, earthy scent of a living forest waking up. As the first rays of dawn pierce the 200-foot canopy, the Amazon begins its daily biological awakening. At the cellular level, the engine of photosynthesis kicks in, flooding the air with moisture and shifting the forest's chemical rhythm. The quiet of the night is shattered, not by music but by the primal calls of primates staking their claim on the landscape. Below, the Amazon River, a massive, relentless conveyor belt moving 55 million gallons every second, sculpts the land, carving the earth with every passing moment. Here, every sound and every movement obeys the ancient laws of physics and biology, written over millions of years of evolution. High in the shadows, the jaguar patrols, the undisputed apex predator. Weighing over 250 pounds, this cat is a masterpiece of kinetic energy. Its bite, a staggering 1,500 pounds per square inch, is a lethal precision instrument, capable of crushing the armor of a caiman or the shell of a turtle in a single skull-shattering strike. The jaguar wastes nothing. It operates through calculated stealth, remaining motionless for hours to conserve heat and melt into the shade. It is the forest's silent filter, keeping populations in check and ensuring the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Its solitary hunt is not out of loneliness, but out of necessity, a masterclass in efficiency to command its vast domain. In a different corner of this hierarchy, the toucan operates as a master of agility. Its beak, an 8-inch marvel that dominates its 20-inch frame, is far more than a tool for foraging. It is a vital thermal radiator. In the sweltering 90-degree heat of the tropical interior, the ability to bleed off excess body heat through its blood-rich beak is the difference between life and exhaustion. The toucan doesn't compete through brute force. It thrives on maneuverability and a keen sense of navigation. By hopping through thin, fragile branches where heavier predators dare not tread, it accesses a bounty of fruit, embodying a strategy of energy efficiency that is the perfect antithesis to the jaguar's raw power. Life in the Amazon is a perpetual interplay of opposing survival strategies. The jaguar maintains order through raw, muscular power and the patience of an ambush, while the toucan asserts its existence through constant motion and the clever exploitation of resources. Neither acts out of malice nor affection. These are the cold, hard imperatives of biological law. Conflict at the intersection of the food chain is inevitable, a necessary trade-off for the energy required to fuel their metabolism. Within this system, every individual is merely a gear in the machine under the constant pressure of natural selection. The Amazon survives only because every species plays its precise part. The predator keeps the population in check, while the fruit eater disperses the seeds of the next generation. It is a natural laboratory of evolution, a dynamic equilibrium that never stands still, shifting eternally with the cycle of life. Each new day here is a gamble, where the smallest error can bring a life cycle to an abrupt end. Yet that is the price of admission to sustain the most complex and vital ecosystem on our planet. The heat is an invisible predator. At 90 degrees, the forest isn't just bright, it's heavy. The air is so thick with moisture that every movement costs double the energy. This is why the forest falls into a tactical lull. Only the most disciplined or the most desperate dare to move. As the sun hits its zenith, the Amazon transforms into a relentless crucible. Temperatures soar to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, driving the forest's metabolic intensity to its breaking point. Silence is a luxury the jungle cannot afford. The landscape is dominated by a frantic symphony. the territorial roars of primates interwoven with the incessant rhythmic pulse of millions of insects. This is the ultimate test of endurance, a furnace where energy is consumed and transformed at a breakneck pace just to keep life burning. In the murky waters, a pod of 6-foot-long giant otters operates with the precision of a tactical unit. They do not hunt through brute individual force, but through a masterclass in coordination. When faced with a 10-foot-long caiman, they do not panic. Instead, they form a defensive perimeter, using piercing cries to disorient their prey before closing in with overwhelming force. This is not sentiment. It is a calculated survival strategy, a collective pact to safeguard their kin. In stark contrast to the otter's fluid agility is the terrifying silent efficiency of the army ants on the forest floor. At barely half an inch in length, they do not fight as individuals, they act as a singular living machine. Driven by the cold, chemical commands of pheromones, millions of ants surge forward like a flood, erasing everything in their path. They sacrifice thousands of their own to form living bridges, conquering obstacles and swarming massive tarantulas with ruthless mechanical accuracy. It is a stark reminder. When the individual ego is discarded, the power of the collective becomes truly invincible. These two species represent the polar extremes of nature's laws. The otters operate on social intelligence and intergenerational teaching, while the army ants are driven by pure mechanical instinct. Yet both arrive at the same destination: the optimization of energy and the protection of the colony. Their difference lies only in their command systems. One uses the social resonance of sound, the other, the cold chemical directive. This spirit of cooperation extends far beyond the predators. High in the canopy, capuchin monkeys employ tools and complex signaling to secure their food. Beneath the surface, Amazon river dolphins use echolocation to corral their prey. Even the towering kapok trees are participants in a secret underground economy, connected by a mycorrhizal network where titans of the forest share nutrients with their saplings, securing the future of the entire community. From lianas to the smallest shrub, every organism is hardwired into this network of mutual reliance. Every behavior, from otters to ants, from monkeys to fungi, is a piece of a grand evolutionary strategy to maximize the harvest of energy. In the Amazon, there is no room for the lone player. Every organism is a gear in a vast, complex grid. Here, the stability of the ecosystem is not left to chance. It is forged through unyielding interaction. This is the law of the forest. Cooperate to survive or be purged from the chain of life. As twilight blankets the Amazon, the forest undergoes a profound metamorphosis. The golden light fades, signaling the retreat of the day-active creatures. forest does not fall silent. It merely shifts frequency. The hum of insects and the murmur of flowing water become the new dominant soundtrack. This is the hour when the masters of ambush and camouflage emerge. The ecosystem is no longer governed by the speed of light, but by the heightened, nervous sensitivity of the dark. Twilight is the forest's most dangerous pivot. It is the golden hour for predators, but a state of high alert for prey. The rules of engagement change. Camouflage is no longer about blending into leaves, but about becoming one with the shadow itself. High in the canopy, the three-toed sloth reigns as the master of invisibility. It doesn't run. It simply vanishes into the environment. Moving at a mere 0.01 miles per hour, the sloth remains completely outside the detection range of any motion-tracking predator. Its fur, a tapestry of algae and moss, is more than just a coat. It is a living ghillie suit seamlessly blending into the foliage. This agonizingly slow pace is not a weakness, it is the ultimate strategy for energy conservation. Allowing it to subsist on a meager diet of leaves while remaining undetected in the shifting shadows. Elsewhere, the capuchin monkeys are busy applying their intellect. Here, brains triumph over brawn. These primates do more than just crack shells with stones, they map their world. With an internal GPS that remembers the fruiting cycles of hundreds of trees across a 5-mile radius, they are always a step ahead of their competitors. Every miscalculation in tool selection or risk assessment could be fatal. For this troop, focus and constant learning are the razor-thin margins between life and death. Deep within the murky waters, the anaconda, the forest's most feared ambush predator, is waiting. At 400 pounds, it wastes no calories on the chase. It is a machine of pure patience. The 30-foot serpent lies motionless, its body dissolving into the darkness of the riverbed, transforming the area into a lethal zone. It takes only one distracted capybara to cross its path, and the anaconda's constricting embrace will neutralize all struggle with terrifying, crushing physical force. This is the pinnacle of ambush strategy. No pursuit required, only the perfect, inevitable moment of strike. Perched on a leaf, the poison dart frog takes a radically different path. It chooses to be seen. Its skin, a vibrant palette of red, blue, and yellow, is nature's most effective keep-out sign. These colors are not for decoration. They are a stark declaration of lethal toxicity. Predators don't need to taste the frog to know the risk is not worth the reward. The dart frog proves that power is not always found in the strike, but in the ability to project such a formidable warning that the threat is neutralized before it even arrives. The twilight hour forces the entire forest to pivot. Every species has its own tactical manual. Owls exploit their razor-sharp vision for nocturnal patrols. Morpho butterflies use optical deception to appear larger than they are. And the strangler fig patiently chokes its host to seize the last remaining rays of light. Every interaction is part of a grueling operational process, where every organism plays a specialized role. In a world shifting second by second between light and dark, life never stops. It simply changes its form to keep the fragile equilibrium of the food web intact. As the final shroud of twilight dissolves, the Amazon descends into total darkness. The forest is no longer a stage of shapes and colors. It becomes a labyrinth of sound and hidden chemical signals. This is the realm of the deep night, a world operating entirely outside the laws of the day. In this profound stillness, an organism's senses are pushed to the absolute limit. Vision is no longer the priority. Instead, it is the mastery of sonar, razor-sharp olfaction, and the ability to feel the slightest tremor in the air. On the forest floor, where the sun never touches even at noon, the true stars begin to awaken. Not in the sky, but buried within the loam, bioluminescent fungi ignite with an eerie emerald glow. They transform the forest floor, a graveyard of the fallen, into a glittering galaxy amidst the ancient wood. This cold, unethereal light is not for vanity. It is a calculated survival strategy, a beckoning lure to insects that will carry the fungal spores to new frontiers. In the ink-black darkness, these tiny specks of light are the lighthouses of new life, proof that even within death, the forest finds a way to germinate, continuing the eternal cycle of evolution. High above, the ghosts of the night take flight. The great horned owl, its eyes evolved to capture light intensity far beyond human capability, glides through the darkness without making a whisper. Its feathers are a masterclass in natural engineering, silencing the rush of air, turning the owl into a phantom of absolute lethal silence. If the jaguar is the monarch of raw power by day, the owl is the embodiment of deadly silence by night. It needs no chase. It listens, and it hears the frantic heartbeat, the microscopic rustle of a rodent deep beneath the leaf litter before dropping like a shadow from above. It is a reminder that in the world of the deep night, he who masters silence masters life itself. Deeper within the hollows, life takes on a different rhythm. Fruit bats, masters of echolocation, weave complex flight paths through the dense, tangled canopy. They do not navigate by sight, but by sound, constructing a vivid three-dimensional map of obstacles and prey with every ultrasonic pulse they emit. The Amazonian night is far from silent. It is a frantic symphony. It pulses with the dry crackle of beetles, the rapid thrum of giant moth wings, and the eerie, pulsating croaks of frogs that emerge only under the moon's ascent. The Amazon's night is also the time when bizarre botanicals awaken. Many flowers bloom only after sunset, exuding heavy, intoxicating perfumes, a siren call meant exclusively for night shift visitors like bats and moths. They have no need for vibrant colors to grab attention. They command the air through scent, and it is a clandestine marketplace of nature, where life is bartered through pollen grains in the dark. Every interaction here is a piece of a grueling yet perfectly ordered process where every organism plays a specialized part to keep the food web from unraveling. The deep night is not merely a time for rest, it is yet another gauntlet. The sudden plummet in temperature from the sweltering heat of midday to the biting chill of the midnight mist forces every creature to develop its own survival stratagem. Reptiles, as cold-blooded beings, must seek out thermal refuge in tree hollows, while small mammals huddle together in nests of leaves. Every moment in the Amazonian night is a battle, not to conquer, but to survive until dawn. It is an eternal cycle, from the radiant brilliance of the day to the fathomless depths of the night. Yet each phase carves the identity of the forest, a living entity that never sleeps and never stops. For generations, the Amazon was dismissed as a pristine, primordial wilderness, an emerald labyrinth where humanity was merely a passing visitor. We looked at the jungle and saw an empty world. But if you look beneath the forest floor, the earth tells a different story. Deep in the soil, hidden from the naked eye, lies Terra Preta, Amazonian dark earth. This is no natural phenomenon, it is a miracle forged by human hands. Centuries before modern agriculture existed, ancient civilizations, long dismissed as myths or sparsely populated tribes, flourished here. They didn't just survive in the jungle, they engineered it. For generations, they enriched the earth with charcoal, bone fragments, organic waste, and shards of pottery. While the surrounding Amazonian soil is notoriously nutrient-poor, quickly exhausted by the relentless heat and rain, a Terra Preta has remained fertile for millennia. It is a self-regenerating carbon sink, a biological technology so advanced that modern science is still struggling to fully decode it. This soil once fed millions. It proves that the Amazon was never a wild, untouchable void. It was a managed orchard, a vast, sustainable garden on a continental scale. This discovery reshapes everything we thought we knew about our past and our potential future. It shatters the myth that humanity and the Amazon are inherently at odds. It reveals that we were once the forest's greatest stewards. These ancient people understood a secret we have long forgotten: that you can nurture the earth without breaking it, that you can thrive without depleting the source. As we gaze upon the blackened, barren stumps of today's industrial clear-cuts, we are witnessing more than just the loss of trees. We are witnessing the abandonment of a legacy. The Amazon stands as a testament to our true potential, not as destroyers, but as guardians. The existence of Terra Preta is a silent message from the past, a blueprint for a different path ahead. It whispers that we hold the knowledge to return to our roots, to become the planet's gardeners once again, rather than its executioners. As twilight paints the Amazon in hues of burnt orange, the forest loses its morning brilliance, sinking into a haunting, melancholy beauty. The dying light filters through vast gaps in the canopy, illuminating the indelible scars on Mother Nature's body. Where giants once stood for centuries now lie only blackened barren stumps and endless fields of soy, sacrificed to the altar of industrial agriculture. Behind the hum of the forest, there is now a new, discordant sound. The low, mechanical drone of chainsaws and the distant grinding roar of machinery. It is the sound of an age that has forgotten its roots. We are witnessing more than just a change in landscape. We are watching the very heart of our planet bleed out. Statistics tell us 17% of the Amazon has vanished, but this isn't just data. It is the silent erasure of millions of lives. Rivers that once flowed with crystal clarity are now choked with mercury from gold mines and agricultural chemicals, turning once vibrant waters into toxic veins where life struggles to gasp for air. Yet through the eyes of the indigenous tribes, the guardians of this realm for millennia, the Amazon has never been a soulless resource. It is a sacred temple where every creature is a vital link in a cosmic story. To them, the jaguar is more than a predator. It is a guardian spirit carrying the strength of their ancestors. It hunts not out of cruelty, but to maintain the balance that keeps the ancient forest whole. The giant otter is a symbol of unity and joy. The harpy eagle, a messenger connecting heaven and earth in sacred rituals. Even the sloth, with its agonizing slowness, is the embodiment of patience and harmony. When we destroy the forest, we aren't just killing animals. We are erasing a treasury of culture, spirit, and wisdom that humanity can never recreate. The power to shape the future lies in our hands. We are the architects of this temple. That power is a double-edged sword. We possess the capacity to destroy, but also the key to heal. 1 hectare deforested is a tragedy, but 1 hectare restored, a river purified, or a harpy eagle returned to the skies, these are proof that we can mend what we have broken. Conservation is no longer just the duty of organizations or indigenous communities. It must become a conscious choice for every individual. From rejecting illicit timber and choosing sustainable sources to practicing responsible ecotourism, every small decision is a step toward restoring the balance we have shattered. The story of the Amazon is the story of ourselves, a narrative of power, greed, but above all of compassion and the capacity for transformation. Every fallen tree, every vanished species serves as a grim warning. This planet is not an infinite supply. Yet every protected sanctuary, every cleaned river proves that humanity can choose to be a savior rather than a destroyer. The Amazon in all its fragile majesty waits for your answer. Will we listen to the cries of the jaguar, the giant otter, the harpy eagle, and the sloth? Will we act to protect this sacred temple, allowing it to remain the soul of the earth, or will we let it become a ghost, trapped in the flickering archives of old documentaries? Time is running out. The green heart of our planet is beating its final rhythms, and it awaits our verdict. The Amazon is more than just a home for jaguars, eagles, or otters. It is the very air we breathe. You have the power to keep this heartbeat strong. If you believe nature is a legacy worth fighting for, support this journey. Like this video, share the story of the Amazon on the Animal Documentary channel, and subscribe to join our movement. Every action, no matter how small, is a contribution to our salvation. Let human kindness write the next chapter for the greatest forest on Earth. We are the storytellers, but you are the ones who change history.